Close your eyes. Count to 3. Breathe deeply. The smell of linen and bleach. Look around you. You see Adidas shirts in heaps to your right. To your left, an enormous display of blue jeans. Within this display are no fewer than 4 men in their 50s who are just touching every single pair of jeans in sequence. It's not clear to you what they're doing. They're confused and wandering, unsure why they're here. One of them is wearing a baseball hat that says, "Bitch." Why are you here? Your wife said you had to get new shirts, because all your shirts make you look like SpongeBob SquarePants. Honey, you said. SpongeBob wears a dress shirt and tie. I wear tropical patterned shirts. While I understand what you meant when you said that, please admit that the character does not dress tropically. There is no answer from the other room. You look again. It's all SpongeBob shirts here, and they all cost $68. You hope your wife still finds you attractive. After all, you really do love her. But you're not good at this stuff. And while it's not important to you, she is Portuguese, and you sometimes wonder if she'd be happier with a Portuguese husband. Suddenly, you're curious. What do gray jeans feel like? Do they feel different than the blue ones? You walk over and touch the jeans on top of the stack. Maybe the other ones underneath are softer. So you touch the ones second from the top, then third, then fourth. You're touching all the jeans now, and the jeans feel nice to touch. You're standing in JC Penney with Luke and DBJ. Welcome to Stores.
Stores are where they sell your favorite stuff, or where the shelves are stocked with love, or where you find a line of happy shoppers. Stores, the friendly staff will wave and smile when you come to browse the aisles. So let's take a trip to all our favorite stores.
Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural episode of Stores, a podcast where we visit some of your favorite stores, chain stores, all across America, and dare I say at some point, maybe beyond.
What?
If we grind, we can, I don't know, go to Tim Hortons in Canada or
Like
something.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, but in Japan.
In
so
Japan,
it's so
7-Eleven,
nice.
yes. Yeah. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that Luke basically took the reins for the intro, but we're both in charge. Like, we're both the same amount of in charge of the podcast. Like, we're like sharing.
Right.
The same amount.
I'm just saying, like, I was trying to do that to help you because you've already done so much work, and I have a natural ability
I didn't do that
to
much
lead.
work. Can I show you? So Luke keeps mentioning that I have this notebook full of things.
Yeah.
And this was basically just like an anxiety thing just for me before the podcast started, just to write some just to keep my mind occupied. Okay, here's what I have written down. Here's the big notebook that you were so
Okay.
worried about. Okay?
Right.
First note, bullet point, Boss Nass.
Oh, yeah.
Just says Boss Nass.
But that's not related. That's not related to this.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with stores at all. Not even really.
They probably have stores in the Gungan world. See, this is the stuff. This is the stuff. Now you can feel the hot riff coming. It's like the air is crackling around us. Huh.
Okay.
What would stores look like in the Gungan part of Naboo? Let's take.
Okay, sorry, improv. Welcome to Wet Topics.
Bisa, what wet topic? Bisa, what krill?
Look, don't do that. Don't do
Why?
the voice. Don't do the
That's
voice.
Jar Jar.
No, just pretend like they talk normal. Just pretend.
Misa, what krill?
The Stores universe is a universe in which the Gungans just talk like regular people. And
That is so
They
be-
walk in Boss Nest.
Huh?
What?
No, we'll
No,
get there.
we'll get
Just
to
hold
him.
on.
Whatever.
No,
What the fuck ever.
And to the Gungans, the Naboo people sound like shit. think of it that way. Anyway, let's introduce our
role
guest.
reversal movie where we see it from Jar Jar's perspective. He's talking totally normally, and when he goes and he meets Qui-Gon Jinn goes, "Oh, you so crazy! You acting so weird."
It's literally Boomhauer episode of King of the Hill where they all talk like him. Anyway, let's introduce our guest. I mean, this is one of the all-timers of podcasting, if you ask me.
Wet topic.
Nobody has been as constantly on the grindstone as putting out fire content. I can't believe we've got him here. Let's give a round for Your Kickstarter Sucks own Jesse Farrar.
Hello, Luke and Jesse, and Pat making a strong move on the mic in the first episode as well. That's really cool.
I know.
I was very happy to hear that.
No, and he just mouthed sorry to me. No, you own that shit. If you're gonna fucking do it, we already fucking got it in there, so you better fucking own that shit.
It was crazy for him to meekly mouth sorry. Like, we're all friends.
You already did it, too.
What is he talking about?
What's the phrase? Do the thing, then ask forgiveness later. It sounds so much better than that, but I don't remember.
Are
what
you a
it is.
malapropisms guy? Is that your? I don't know that about you. Is that one of your things where you don't get sayings?
He does spoonerisms
Okay.
where he switches you switch the first letter of two words and you get it mixed up. You know.
I think that's just dyslexia.
Don't make it sad. It's not supposed to be like a sad thing.
Dyslexia isn't sad. That's not sad. That's just like a thing people have.
Yeah.
What's sad is like brain tumor.
Are you guys thinking about, do you have a social media strategy yet? Is this going to be a part of it, do you think?
Yeah.
This clip?
Clip of two guys arguing about whether or not dyslexia is sad.
I think
that'll go viral. I think two white guys. It's not sad. I think it's good. I think it's good to have.
I mean, I'm just saying there, like when people were younger, it was harder, but nowadays, I mean,
when people were younger, it was harder. Okay.
They got programs for it.
Yeah. Sure.
Can I talk about one of my other notes I had written down for the episode?
Yes.
This note says guy with the longest nails ever, because I was thinking about him, because I was watching a video about him getting his nails cut.
Right.
Like towards the end of his life, and basically throughout the video, he's
was he screaming? No, they're taking them.
He didn't seem to like it. He definitely didn't seem to like it.
Why'd they do it then?
Okay. Well, the reason they did it is in the video, this guy basically was like, yeah, this has ruined my whole life. This has ruined my whole life, and I can't make any money doing it.
But he was like the long nails. Was he like a Guinness Book of World Record?
No, he was like the
holder?
Ripley's guy and the Guinness guy for like, forever. He was the longest nails guy, and it became his thing. But it like ruined his family, and like he couldn't make money for his entire life because you can't work with this big fucking hunk of nail hanging off of your hand.
No, not really, because he chose to do that, and you have to.
No, that's the question. Why did you keep doing it?
You have to live by the choices you make. That's what I believe. We only are as strong as our weakest choice.
And his story about
is that malapropism or whatever you said before?
What you just said was, I actually saw something along those lines, Jesse. Did you see the thing about? Do you remember the lady whose eyes would bug out really far?
Yes.
I do remember this lady, yeah.
Did you see what happened to her in the last couple of years?
Yeah, she was my wife on our first night together.
If you want to make a joke about it, we don't have to fucking actually talk about it.
That's fucking good.
I didn't know what the vibe was.
That's my wife on our first night together. When I pulled out the drawers, whoa, that thing, that's her eye through the damn magnifying glass trying to look at that shit.
I guess you think you know your friend Luke, and then he says, when you pull down your drawers, and you wonder, has he always talked like this? Is this how he talks?
Well, on your wedding night. On your wedding night.
On
You're
your
wearing
wedding night.
boxers to your wedding?
A lot of people probably do.
Yeah. You're not going to boxer briefs. Get boxer briefs.
Yeah, where are you rocking with that? Because I remember, I have a vivid memory in college of my one of my closest friends, Laura, taking me and another friend aside and be like, hey, you guys got to stop wearing boxers. You look like little boys. You have to wear boxer briefs like every other person we know.
like a grown-up.
Yeah, and she was right.
So basically, what's going on with your nuts, JF?
Yeah, it's a good question. I am a boxer briefs guy for sure. Like most people our age and our interest, I bought them from a podcast ad, so I'm kind of rocking with those right now. And
we don't have any advertisers yet.
And that's actually such a great tee up because I was going to say, is this not the perfect place for an ad?
Yeah, Me Undies.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
we could do like a prospective ad for Me Undies.
Me Undies. Hey, your balls stink so fucking much that they're slipping out of your goddamn pants all day. Me Undies, we fixed that.
the stink is what makes them slip. I didn't remember
your
that.
balls,
Yeah, because they're sweaty.
JF,
Right.
are your balls like kind of wet all the time, and sometimes you'll touch them and they're like there's a wetness to them that you didn't expect?
So no, but if I need to say it for the ad, obviously I'll lie and do whatever.
This is an important part of the ad. Yeah, this is so that's a big issue for you. Huh?
JF, what's the ad read that you most had to compromise your own morals on?
Yeah. And I know the answer, so don't lie.
Wow. If you know the answer, I'm almost tempted to let you say it.
Would you like? Now it's a real thing. Would you like me to say it?
We can cut it out.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, it was the sponsored Go Off King stream because you are a Twitch streamer. It was the sponsored Go Off King stream where you were playing Fortnite for the Shell Gasoline Company.
Okay. Can I just say what happened with that? Can I just say what happened with that?
Wow, if you guys like this, you should go fill up your cars at Shell.
I thought, and this,
I'm watching the Twitch stream in my car, and I'm ripping out of the Exxon station. Well, I'm not getting this shit anymore.
I thought this speaks to my ignorance about Fortnite, and maybe the duplicity also of this nation's great oil refiners. I thought it would be like you were playing normal Fortnite, and then like how there's like Godzilla walking around in the background. I thought there would be like a Shell gas station in the background, and I was playing normal Fortnite. What I didn't realize is there was a special Shell gasoline island I was transported to.
It was an adventure. It was the Shell Gasoline Adventure, yes.
I didn't know that that's what it was when I did it.
This is one of my favorite streams I've ever watched.
It was a full-on mutiny in the chat.
I was able to watch a man's heart break
and you know what?
in real time.
Truly, if it had been worth any money at all, I would have at least been able to say, you know what? I'm putting food on my kids' plates tonight, and this is not the most creatively fulfilling stream I've ever done. Obviously, it's a mistake I'll have to apologize for later, but at least I made some money off of it. I think we made like $78 to do that.
What did you do on the Shell Island?
Can I just say, I remember after the BP oil spill when the CEO came out and said, listen, this wasn't the most creatively fulfilling thing we've ever done. You know, we're putting food on the table.
There was like they actually did like make a gas station in it, but it was the only place you could go. So you could drive a supercar around the gas station, but couldn't go in. And then you had to like collect little like rings or something. Like it was like a weird Sonic mini game, or it was inscrutable. Of course it was.
Just imagine someone making a bespoke Fortnite experience for you.
Yeah.
And your beautiful wife is there. And
and Jonesy's there too.
And she's 6'4". She's taller than in real life. She's much taller than in real life.
Damn.
And Peely's there.
And Peely is there, and he's just there to watch. He's not going to get involved.
Peely is the banana from Fortnite.
Yes,
Peely is the banana from Fortnite, JF.
I don't know what your audience is going to be like. Do you think they have that
Okay, you didn't do any prep for the podcast. Yeah, that's obvious.
If you don't know who Peely is, turn this shit the fuck off, because I'm not interested in your business.
This is our first announcement to our viewers.
Why are you shaking your head?
If you don't know who the fuck Peely is, fuck off. Okay?
You have
Get
to be
off
careful
the
with this.
Patreon.
This is my advice. This is what
what's up?
One thing I have learned, not that you asked. One thing that I've learned is that even after like 10 years of doing the stream and the podcast, there will still be people tuning in like within the last couple of weeks who go like, huh, that's what you look like. Which is so crazy that you would never you would be listening for years and never even once look up what I looked like. So my point being, you can't afford to turn these freaks off. You got to turn the freaks on. You can't say if you don't know Peely, hit the road, Jack. Because that guy might be your biggest patron of all time.
But see, then you're killing a natural part of my hosting charisma.
Yeah, it's important that we tell people to fuck off.
I'm a heel, man.
Yeah.
You know that classic comedy duo, Two Heels? We both are antagonistic, both to the audience and towards each
With
other.
inscrutable beliefs, and we can't really finish a sentence.
Can't back them up either.
Remember in Abbott and Costello where there were two angry guys that didn't know what the other one was talking about?
They just beat the shit out of each other every day. The fuck you mean?
What
Who's
the
on
fuck
first?
are you? I didn't say that. I didn't fucking say that.
Listen
asshole.
to me, bitch.
I'm listening. Fuck you. You're a know-nothing prick.
And then they come to fisticuffs, as they'd call it back in the day.
Fisticuffs.
Nowadays, it'd
Fisticuffs,
just be a knife fight, but back then,
Yeah.
Well, back then people were younger.
that's true. And they died sooner.
Guy who thinks that in the year 2000 everyone must have been 5 years old because it was 25 years ago.
Well, what else is on that crazy notebook? More Star Wars stuff?
Oh, do we want to talk about the notebook? I mean, we should ask Stores
Ryan
questions.
Gosling.
Do you have? This is the first episode of Stores. We should ask Stores questions
Yeah.
of our guest, Luke. And Luke, here comes the questions that I asked you to prepare for JF. And the first one, let's go.
Of course, let's hit with the first one. JF,
Don't look up and to the right when you're remembering.
Why? That's how I remember. That's how you know, because if you're watching the video thing, you want to see that I'm remembering. Let's see. My first question for day F. It's got the Zelda sound because I can't remember the sound of memories.
Luke touched me in the middle of that for our audio listeners. He just touched me in the chest.
What's your history with going to the stores?
That's the fucking question.
Well, that's a general one, and then we'll get more specific.
That's
What's
very
your history?
general.
How do you
That's
do you
like
like
the
go?
most-
JF, what's your
General store.
favorite store?
Hey, JF, what do you think about the premise of our podcast?
That's a good question.
Why don't you come up with something?
Yeah,
Genius.
I actually I wasn't critical. I think I said that it was good from the moment I heard of the idea. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
Genius.
I think you were a little bit worried. I don't know which one of you was expressing the worry to me that this would be sort of a burden for potential guests, that they maybe go out of their way a little bit.
Wasn't me.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that
me.
was me.
Wasn't
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Wasn't me
And
at
was
all.
it?
Did not care about that. You must have been imagining that.
Yeah, I brought up this issue to Jesse, and I basically got that same response. So
It's basically like,
I'm curious what you think, because this was my worry.
yeah.
Well, I guess for me, I'm just such a store enthusiast that it would be hard to come up with one of these that would be a real burden to. I made a whole day of it.
Yeah.
Like I got out of the house,
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of different stuff. I went to places I
And that's
enjoyed more.
this is the
than-
delight.
It's
the
this
delight.
is. This is the leisure time for someone of our age, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't want to skip forward to the store review just yet.
And there's not going to be
but-
like kids
course.
on the podcast, so that's fine.
I don't know who you're going to have on.
I'm not going to have like kids.
You're not going to have the Costco guys on? They're
You're not
kids,
gonna
aren't
have,
they?
We're not going to have the Rizzler.
I'll have the adult guy who's their dad or
Nobody
whatever.
gives a everyone likes the Rizzler.
All right,
Okay.
JF, let's get to my prepared questions. Now, JF, you are a store enthusiast, as you've said.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the store. I don't know what I would say my history is with it, other than I have gone to it before. But I did want to touch on
What's
that
your
briefly for you.
history with stores?
I guess to try to answer that legitimately, I guess I would say that for a while, not anymore. I no longer consider myself the like chief domestic officer of our home. That responsibility now falls to my wife. So for the most part, she is doing more store runs than I am these days. But there was a time where she was working full time, and I had this same jack off job that you guys do, and that I still have.
It's hard work.
Well, it's very creatively fulfilling, of course.
We're like Iraqi war soldiers. Go ahead.
But during that time period, I was mostly doing, I was taking the kids to school, and I was making the grocery runs and doing the majority of the cooking and stuff like that. So at that time, I had a little bit more involvement in the day-to-day storegoing and resource retrieval, sort of a hunter-gatherer type of role. And that's where I really grew to love the actual ritual of wandering around the store, seeing what is new. When there's a new sody pop or a new chip flavor, or just like, hey, we have a new brand of chicken thigh or whatever.
This is huge to me.
Is
This is
great.
huge to me. So I've gotten a lot of flack for this.
for some reason, but it used to be my ritual after every stream that I do. It would be like every single time I would go immediately after the stream. I would leave my house and drive 10 minutes to the closest convenience store and just like kind of just wander around in the convenience store and just look at chips and decompress for like 20 minutes.
I did make fun of you for that because I think everything that you do is inherently weird and mockable.
Okay, now why do you think that? Is it something about me, my character, or do you think the things themselves are weird?
Hold on. I want to do. I don't want I don't want to bring that character into this sacred space.
Okay.
What character?
In this space.
What character?
Your stream character.
What stream character? This is my. That's who I am.
In this space, you're an alpha.
What?
You're confident. You go to the store.
Well, we didn't discuss
No one
this.
draws weird pictures of you, and then you look at them, and then you get mad because it's audio.
I don't look like that.
Media. I don't look like that.
That's not what I sound like. I don't sound like that. What
the hell is that?
I don't sound like that.
Okay.
Okay, can we just watch the videos, please?
Shut the fuck up. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Here's what I came into the podcast. Okay. I came into the podcast with a very, very relevant to the premise, talking about an experience that I had that was important to me, a ritual that I had about the store, and immediately I turn into the fucking slug. Okay. And I'm the slug again. And you're the one saying you don't want to bring that character in, and you just made me the slug.
He did just do it.
Hey,
Yeah.
if Jesse's the slug, call me Salt Bay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And this is why you get Luke on the podcast.
Damn.
Luke, I fuck with you so hard,
Ice
man.
in my veins.
I seriously fuck with you so hard.
Convenience stores
keep
are
going.
interesting. I'm sure you guys will go through a lot of them because what else are you gonna do? But they're
Okay. Be nicer about the premise. Be nicer about the premise.
no, you're gonna have to, right? But I think what's cool about convenience stores is
Gonna get to.
You're gonna get to.
We're excited.
The
We
pleasure.
are legitimately excited.
The
You have to
pleasure of
understand,
talking about
we're
Wawa.
excited.
Dude, when we
This is like a joke to us,
when
dude.
we came across the idea, it was genuinely like the entire world became a wonderland.
Wow.
And this is something that you would maybe not understand.
Because you have no sense of play.
Yeah,
Right.
you have no sense of play. You have no sense of play at all. And you can't follow the fun. I've never seen you follow the fun one time in your life.
No,
You follow the damn paycheck like a
you
pie
follow
on the
the money.
windowsill. You know it's got the smoke coming out with the big finger going like this.
It's not smoke,
but it's
but
you
yeah.
do another stream elements check.
Yeah.
Well-
yeah. When you were watching that movie, what's the movie with the 3 shells?
The three
Running Man?
shells.
It's Running Man? It's Demolition Man. It's Demolition Man. When you were watching Demolition Man and the 3 shells came up, you were like, you started licking your lips on 3 paychecks.
Why, that could be as much as $250.
Or you were thinking a 3-card Monty. You know when I love Shell Game. You know how Shell Game.
I love Shell Game. Yeah.
when they're do and the Harlem Globetrotters music is playing in your head while you watch.
Yeah. You seem to have a lot of times where jaunty music is playing in your head while stuff happens.
That's the soundtrack to my life.
I also
man.
love to watch Luke work out his podcast character in real time. He's like, I love Shell Games.
I love
It's
Shell Game.
Something I've never
Is that
heard
something?
him talk about before in my life.
I love. I gotta be writing this shit down because I gotta keep the continuity. Yeah, I love Shell Game.
He's a big Shell Games guy.
In 15 or so episodes, you're going to have to put out the Shell Game shirt where you're playing Shell
Yeah.
Game. Like, whoa.
What? I'm playing Shell Game. Bonus live streams where I'm doing the Shell Game for real money for our audience.
Can we talk about the Wonderland again? Okay, so
Yes.
when we came up with the podcast idea, the entire world, at least for me, became a wonderland of every time I saw a sign, I thought, I will get to talk about this for 90 minutes. And I want to talk about it for 90 minutes. I would drive by Harbor Freight. When have I ever gotten excited about Harbor Freight before? And now I am.
Right.
Because
Harbor Freight's a
I
good
could-
one.
Harbor Freight's a really good one.
I don't even know what that is, which is insane to me because I feel like I know every store. Now I'm learning about stores I don't even knew. This is the joy of the podcast.
There is a whole
stores.
beautiful world.
It's kind of building a case for you guys to have done a podcast about something more educational, like film or books or something. Because
Huh?
you're saying
I already
how
know about those.
starting the podcast means you're opening your world up to these different things you've never experienced before, and you're learning more about them and getting excited
Right.
to experience them.
What?
Right.
But it's just rank capitalism.
Well, hold on. Now that's very interesting, isn't it? Because I do think. I mean, I know that our detractors are going to bring this up. I mean, the flame wars. I can already see they have begun.
I also love being lectured by the VP of marketing for Shell. I love that he comes on the podcast and he starts giving me shit. He's rolling around. By the way, for our audio only listeners, JF is currently on a bed of $78. Yeah. He's got
he's damn Scrooge McDuck going off the fucking diving board into $78.
There's a lot of empty spots on the bed, obviously, but still, there's a little bit of an overlap between some of the
If
dollars.
you get it in singles, there's a lot more coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever think? And this isn't like funny or like good, but
Well, let's
you
say
ever
it.
think? You ever think?
Yeah, let's dive. Let's
you ever
dive
think
right
at the
in.
strip club with the way inflation's going, it's going to change from singles to fives?
Have I ever thought about going to the strip club? And it's gonna be fine.
You know what I'm talking about?
Do you is that what you think sad stuff is?
Huh?
I'm just trying to pin
That's
down
not
what
sad.
you think is sad.
What do you think? Okay, so I guess here's my question, JF, and this is sort of my question. Just getting back to stores. So, if the Gungans had a hot topic, what do you think it would be called?
Wow, it sucks that wet topic was taken already because it feels
That's
so
where also
obviously that's where
It
I'm
would be
gonna
called
go
wet
with
topic.
How about wet idea?
Wet idea.
Wet idea, yeah.
I like wet topic.
Wet topic is good.
Are the
Yeah.
Gungans? What are the other names of the Gungans? Of course, there's Jar Jar Binks. Are the other ones like
There's
Mar
Boss
Minx?
Nash. Who's the? He's sort of a. He's a taskmaster of sorts, but he does interact with Jar Jar, but learns a grudging respect.
Jar
Yeah.
Jar's a war hero, by the way.
Yeah.
And a decorated senator, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, he gave executive power to
Chancellor Palpatine.
Chancellor Palpatine.
Dude, I literally read a Reddit thread how he's actually. Okay, so JF.
I've got a name. I've got a list of some of the other
That's such
names.
an insane time to abandon that joke.
JF.
It's like in the middle of that part of it.
I wanted to. I here's the thing about learning about rank capitalism. But what I believe is in our dying empire, and we'll see if we keep this in. But this is going to be really smart. So everybody, make eye contact with me. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
In our dying empire, one of the few pleasures we have left is our ability to interact with a big chain conglomerate, whether that's food or store. And it's one of the few nice places we have because our public spaces are shit. Many of our private spaces, like our homes and apartments, are shit. But you go to fucking Macy's, and it feels like you're in a working civil society.
It's also like it's a monoculture in a way that nothing is anymore,
Yes.
where it's like everybody knows about the same stores because small individual local stores basically don't exist anymore. So this is one of the only things that everybody in America would have in common is knowing about Costco.
And this is a love letter to Sam Walton. Thank you so much for what you
And
did,
the
sir.
entire Walton family. Thank you,
You know
so
what
much.
I learned? I was reading about Walmart yesterday, and I know this isn't the episode, but I learned that he got his start foreclosing farms during the Great Depression.
Absolutely he did.
He was a farmer, and he's like,
Absolutely he
there's
did.
not enough money in this, so he got his job working for an insurance company and foreclosing on farms and taking
From
people's
humble
farms away.
beginnings comes a retail empire.
Well, enough about Walmart. Let's get to the store of the hour. Of course, this week we're talking about JC Penney. And then you chime in with some history facts about JC.
I don't have any history facts. Was I supposed to look up history
facts?
You thought what? I don't
You
think
said
that
you
we.
had all these fucking notes. I'm telling DBJ, we're talking on Discord last night. I'm like, do I need to do any research? And they're like, no, I got it.
Okay.
The rest of the
here's what
notebook on
actually-
there is just a very detailed drawing of Jar Jar Binks getting fucked by Rish Lu, who is another Gungan I just looked up.
So
Rich
here's
Lou.
what actually happened, by the way. Let me
a
give you the
rich
actual
Lou.
version of that conversation. Is Luke at one point said, "You're kind of the wonk, so we're good." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he did not answer me. He just sort of moved
Like a
past
history
it.
wonk.
Yeah, and I didn't
You're
understand.
like the nerd.
I'm not the dork.
You
I'm the
are. Who's the dork and who's the dick, Jesse?
Well, don't make me say who the dork
Come on.
and dick is.
You know who it is. Yeah, you're
and who's the deer?
Pat.
Pat's not the deer.
Pat's the deer.
Pat's an alpha.
When we
He's-
get him mic'd up next episode, he's going to be saying, guys, you can't say that. He's going to be a woke scold. That's what he told me. He's going to be a woke scold. That's what he said. That's what he told me. Woke scold.
So the history of JCPenney, where did it start?
I don't have any idea.
Started in Wyoming. I actually looked this up last night. And because I wanted you to buy your P's and motherfucking Q's. Keep you on your tiptoes. Because I actually know where it started. And get this, Sam Walton, the guy who started Walmart, worked at a JCPenney in high school, and that's where he got his bright idea for Walmart.
How old ago is JCPenney?
This is the 1920s. We're going back.
Damn.
Let's bring us back.
Are you doing Wipeout for the 1920s?
What was 1920s?
Wasn't that? I don't think.
It wasn't. That's closer. That's way closer.
It's some shit Jesse would have on a Spotify playlist.
Now listen to
Shut
this.
the fuck up.
Listen to what this motherfucker's name was. John Cash Penney.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Is that crazy? Wait,
That's
hold on.
great.
I need to make sure that's right. It's I know it's this.
It doesn't matter if it
C
is or not,
cash.
really.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
should just say that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares if it's right or
Let
not?
the flame wars begin.
Begun the Flame Wars have. Yeah.
Begun the flame wars.
I think that's what I've been trying to
You know
say.
what's amazing is the opening crawl in episode 3, the Revenge
I
of
don't
the
want to
Sith.
talk about fucking Star Wars anymore. I really don't. It's like three guys our age talking about the prequels on a podcast is so fucking hack. Just shut up.
I
Who
don't want to talk
cares?
about Star Wars anymore the name of a show? Isn't that an actual?
It must be.
I think
It
that's the
must
name
be.
of a podcast, right?
I know about Gilmore Guys, but I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's different completely, I think, from what I said.
There's Screw It. We're just going to talk about the Beatles, which is a
okay.
Beatles podcast.
Maybe that's
so
what I'm
maybe
thinking.
that's
The Beatles.
calm down.
I'm working on my character. Sorry.
Calm
Does
down.
that track?
That's a good part for the
Fuck
character.
the
Yeah.
Beatles.
You don't like the Beatles.
don't
I
know
guess
how
that's a good. Yeah.
I don't know if that's like interesting enough to really be a tent pole.
Doesn't really have to do with the premise. I don't know how often it would come up.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
cut it out then. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So we went to JCPenney. All of us went to JCPenney, and I'll
Yes.
just get a temperature check on JF. What was your experience like at JCPenney? I'll let you start. I'm not going to like overrun your opinion. I want your clean opinion of your experience at JCPenney.
Well, thank
So,
you. Well, so JCPenney is not one that I have been to. I think when I think of like these former retail giants, like current semi-dilapidated department stores, I'm probably putting JCPenney's below Belk and Dillard's. Macy's never really was a big part of my life, so I don't think I could go one way or the other on that. Maybe JCPenney edges out Sears, but still not really something I ever held in super high regard. Definitely a place I've been to buy some slacks or something over the years. I guess I was a little bit surprised to see that the one near me was still cooking. Our
Was it busy?
JCPenney, it was not overly busy. There were people in it, which is, but the other thing about that, how do you clock whether a place like that is busy, is something that I think is a good thing to bring into relief when you're talking about this in the context of your show, which is JCPenney, at least the one that I went to, is positively enormous, even by other store standards. It is
Yes.
Byzantine. It is, you can get lost in it. And the fact that it is all like one shade of off-white beige throughout.
Somehow all of the clothes, despite being garish and too colorful, are all the same color.
It's
I don't know
weird.
how that happens, but it is 100% true that it
Yeah.
all blends into one texture.
Swagless. The most swagless place
Yes.
you could walk into, I
An
think.
amount of what I can only describe as SpongeBob shirts that would boggle the mind.
Yeah.
Like just an unbelievable amount. Every different brand and section has their own selection of hideous SpongeBob shirts. And this is mainly what I wear, is this kind of shirt. And even
It is
I
so.
was like, this is hideous.
I
is too
really
much.
like that the color of off beige they went to is the same color of when you go to a dilapidated store, and it was clearly white at one point, and
Yes.
now it's that color, as
I
if
know.
to signal that it's always looked like that.
yeah, the whole thing, the JCPenney is the color of a stained part of a wall.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it looks like water damage.
Sucks.
It does
It's-
really suck. And it sucks to see it like that, too, because I was, the mall in general, I mean, you guys being a little bit younger than me, I don't know what kind of affection you have for
I'm
malls.
in my early 20s.
For me, the mall was actually a significant part of my life.
Yeah.
The mall was where we went for basically everything. That's where a new restaurant would go, is the mall. That's where my wife and I both worked when we were kids. That's where the movie theater was. That's where everything was for us, the mall. And now to see not just the mall be this hollowed out building that seems completely purposeless, but also the anchor stores, the department stores, which are malls unto themselves with these little miniature, hey, here's the makeup department, right? Here's the photo department. Here's the retail. Here's the home goods. Here's the, whatever. To see that like completely fold in on itself just makes you go, God damn, everything's over.
As a kid, I have some mall experience, but I think even when I was like 10, it would have been like 2005 or something. And I think even at that point, malls were waning.
Yeah.
The fact that some still exist is shocking to me. Luke, did you go to the one in the Galleria, the JCPenney in the Galleria?
Yes.
The Galleria blew my mind in Los Angeles or in Glendale.
Glendale, of course.
It blew my mind because there were people in it. I was seeing a mall that was active and full of people.
Yeah.
It was, I guess I had not been there on like a Saturday before. And
it's popping.
It was really popping.
It's like how malls used to feel. No, it was so
like
real.
walking back in time. And when I walked in and I experienced it, I was like overwhelmed. This was my experience. I was overwhelmed with like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This sort of this place where people can gather. This is amazing. And I felt that, and I was just sort of looking around and walking for like 30 seconds. And then after about 30 seconds, I was totally over it, and I wanted to leave. I was so fat. It took me no time at all to be sick of it, and please, I don't want to see, these people are like touching me.
Unfortunately, I do feel you, and that because I had that same moment of wonder, and then about 30 minutes, and I was like, right, this fucking sucks.
It was the same.
It sucks.
That's the exact
sucks
experience.
to have to wait in line. It sucks to have to fucking wade through people who all have their own agendas. It reminds me, because I'm of the age where I still remember going to the mall to buy Christmas presents, and I was just reminded of how fucking awful that was.
No, it's annoying.
It sucks.
It's annoying. When I was in the JC
that's a little
Penney,
fun though.
Okay,
there is
listen,
there
there is
a
an
wonder
element
to it.
of fun, JF.
Yes, that's why we're doing the podcast.
Okay, there was an element of fun. I
fun.
definitely had a nice time
I
at
had a
the
nice
mall.
time.
We both
I
had
went
a very,
I went
we
to
went
other
separately.
stores I won't talk about that I had a great time in.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But
I'm not going to talk about Lids. We're
Lego-
not going to talk about
Lego
Lids.
store.
Lids is its own episode.
Lego store, and they tried to sell me a special Chinese New Year Lego, and I said, I'm okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Wow. This episode sure is good, huh, Jesse?
Seems pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how it ends.
I can't believe we have... And then you take the name of the person, Pat. And we're doing the store. You take the name of the store, Pat. You put it in. It's been so amazing. But you're probably thinking to yourself, now I got to wait a whole nother week to listen to these two guys and their guests?
I wish I had more stores.
Oh.
I wish I had more stores. Well, if you want to have more stores, guess what? You can become a member of the Stores Core, and all you got to do is go to patreon.com/stores the podcast and sign up for either of our tiers, the $6 tier, which gets you every bonus episode. We release a bonus episode of Stores every single week on that feed entitled Stores More, featuring Luke and me talking about all sorts of different stuff.
Hilarious.
We got one bonus episode released in the main feed, just as a little bit of a teaser. You can check that one out if you're interested. It's in the main feed. It's right up top. And if you're interested in becoming part of the Stores Core, you'll get those bonus episodes every single week, one episode every single week, and you'll get some behind the scenes and additional posts on Patreon. You'll become part of the Stores community and be dug in. And importantly, you'll support a podcast which currently is not running any ads and is running just off of the love that we have for this project. There's also a $10 tier. At the $10 tier, you get video versions of the episode. So
of the bonus episodes.
Of the bonus episodes? Yes. That's right. And if you want to see what we're up to, maybe put us on the big screen, pretend like we're all your friends.
Show your parents,
Show
please.
your parents what we look like.
The holidays
these
are coming up.
You can show your parents. You can
Maybe.
say, and you're at Christmas, and you're saying, this is what I've been up to with my friends. And you can pretend that you're the producer, because Pat isn't visible on most of the episodes. So
And
you can
guess
say that
what?
you're
If you
producing.
sign up for the $100 tier, we'll send a personalized video that you can send to your mom or dad saying that we're your friend. And you can have that.
Yeah, and we're going to tell you we love you one time a month.
A month.
Yeah, and you can tell us whether or not that's sexual or non-sexual love if you sign up for it. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. In our infancy, we're off to an amazing start, and we're excited to have you as part of the Stores Core. If you're interested, check out patreon.com/stores
Stores, the podcast.
Goo goo gaga.
Goo goo ga.
You said infancy.
Okay, can I talk about... I know that this is not a Lids episode, but we cannot do a Lids episode, I have determined.
Why?
Because I was in the Lids for 1 second out of curiosity. I'd never been inside one. The Lids in the mall is maybe... It feels like it's 5 feet square.
It's weird.
It is so small.
But they got a lot of hats.
They got a lot of hats, but all of them are LA Dodgers hats. They're all the same hat. They
They're
just
the same
have
hat.
a billion of the same hat. And there were more people inside that tiny Lids space than in all of JCPenney, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
so many people crammed into this Lids. What were they looking at? What were they looking for? It's the same hat.
But don't you
I
get the
don't
impression,
understand
like, you know what's so weird about that? Like, if JCPenney somehow scored a coup and got a Lids, like, imprint inside JCPenney and tripled the size, it would be totally empty. Like, there's just
Why-
something about the department store itself that we have completely rejected as a society.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I do think it's like, and I felt it of like, I will still go to a clothing store, but yes, the department store very specifically as this place that has all the brands is like not appealing.
I'm wondering if the idea of shopping has sort of become less popular, because I think this is an important distinction. I love going to the store.
Yes.
Shopping, like browsing and going through the clothes and like seeing all the different, like, and like trying to pick out a shirt that's good, that I hate. I don't like that at all. And I think that's way different than going to the store.
I think for me, the difference in the shopping, what appeals to me about shopping now, whether it's because I have a small amount of disposable income, thank you, Shell Oil, or if it's because I'm older, or if it's because I've been on the internet for so long and for my work that shopping there holds very little appeal to me, or I want the immediate gratification of finding something. I'm not sure, but I feel like the thing that department stores don't do well that we actually want is we want something that is curated. So like
Yes.
that's why you go to this.
Sure,
if you go to
yeah.
a secondhand store, it's like, well, somebody who's cool like picked this stuff out and said it's
Yeah.
cool, or it's a specialized shirt or jeans or whatever, where it's like, this is special. Someone has had a hand on this. Whereas the department store, okay, somebody folded all the SpongeBob shirts, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like whatever fell off the container ship that day. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe literally like just strewn around the store. And that's why I think there's like such a scent of death in those places.
Do you think, how do you feel about the super expensive clothing stores? Because if you're talking about a personal touch. I have been to a super expensive like suit store one time in my life, and it's a totally different experience. And I have to imagine this is how rich people live all the time. And basically the way that those stores work is you go in and a beautiful woman tells you that she's in love with you for about 45 minutes.
Right.
And then you spend $500.
Damn, that just got me so excited. Can you imagine when we do Gucci week and we get to fucking wear suits, get baller as hell? I'm going to slick back my hair. I'm going to grow out my balding head, slick it back, and be like, sup, I'm at Gucci. And I'm going to wear crocodile
say
loafers.
bitch on the
You can,
podcast.
if you want to say bitch, you can say bitch.
Yeah, I
wanna
could
say
see it on the
I don't wanna
lips. I
say
could see it on
My
the lips.
character
You
doesn't
definitely
say
could-
words like that.
Your character says words like
I
that.
could see
I
your
want to
bitch
be wearing
lips,
those
yeah.
alligator slides. I want to be in the Gucci store. I want you to give me a $400 key ring that says G on it. I'm excited for now. Gucci's going to be a good week. I mean, we can make a lot of stuff out of Gucci. Write that down, Pat. I was kidding.
Yeah.
You don't have to write it down.
He started moving.
Is part of
know.
his job to write stuff down, do you think? Or
I don't
no?
know.
I don't
We're
think
figuring
so.
it out.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that.
It looks like he's just kind of holding the keyboard.
Yeah, he's sort of noodling. Can I say something that annoyed me is I found a beautiful graphic tee. I went into JCPenney sort of expecting to find an insanely annoying graphic tee to buy.
Yeah.
The art of the graphic tee in the department store has been lost. This is what I believe. Because every graphic tee just said Adidas on it, or the brand, or Hurley, or whatever. The graphic tee that has some inscrutable joke about Yoda on it is gone.
I think that's because I don't know if that was in department stores. To me, that's a Target Walmart.
Maybe
thing.
that's more of a. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe
don't-
it's more
I'm
of a
not-
Target Walmart thing. But I
Yeah.
remember it from going to. I guess Kohl's isn't a department store, so maybe that doesn't-
Kohl's is the middle ground, right? It's between
Yes.
those
Yeah,
two places.
Yes.
It's on. Yes,
Kohl's is the great equalizer. As
and
I call it.
I did find an amazing shirt, but it was only. It was a shirt that was the band Kiss, and it was the text under it said "Greatest band on the planet."
That's cool.
And
No.
it was only in
XXLT and above sizes.
What's the
T?
Large and tall, so it's longer.
They had a big and tall section at JCPenney, I know.
Yeah, it was huge. It was an entire corner was big and tall.
We respect you.
Yeah.
JCPenney is there for you. You know what I thought was weird
but
about
I'd look like a sock if I was wearing this.
I don't know.
I'd look like a Kiss sock.
Maybe you could wear it to bed as like a nighty.
Ooh,
that's actually cute as hell.
send me a pic, yeah.
Yeah, and your ankles are showing or whatever.
Got big fluffy socks
I thought it was
on.
really
I'm
strange.
shambling around.
Now, you tell me, what'd you say? You got fluffy socks?
I got
with
big
the little frills?
pink fluffy socks.
With the little frills on the ankle?
With the frills on the ankle.
And you're tiptoeing?
Yes.
Shh, can't make a peep.
And
Might
I've
wake
got-
the house mouse.
DBJ, did you see this shirt? I thought you might come away with this shirt.
Now, what does this shirt say? Hold on.
It doesn't say
It's
anything.
It's too small for me to see.
It's just like your stupid bullshit you wear.
It's got a
that
bunch
shit.
It's
Is
a
it Star Wars?
It's a
No.
bunch of
That shit-
fruits on it.
That shit looked like a grandma table. I don't want to wear that.
Okay. The
It
pineapple
looks like
was
a
right side
grandma
up on.
curtain.
The thing I like about this is it's a power penny deal.
Everything
Say
was a
more-
power penny
say
deal.
more on that.
Talk about speak
Say
on
more-
that.
speak
Speak
on
on that.
that.
Power
Speak
penny.
on that.
I was hoping you guys would have some research about what the power penny deal entails because
It's just some fucking shit.
it seemed like everything was either a power penny deal or
We've got to
excluded.
do more research, bro. I mean,
You know
think
what?
in our head, it
I
was
thought
just
I
like,
covered for
we're
it.
doing
I
vibes.
thought I covered for it pretty well.
Bro, I didn't even go to the fucking website.
Why would you go to the website?
Because I could have learned. I could have fucking, I could have learned some shit on there, like what a power penny deal is. Anyway, sorry, JF, I cut you off. Tell me about the power penny.
Yeah.
Well,
tell us what that is.
There were power penny deals, but there were also things that were excluded from power penny deals. These are the graphic tees I saw there as well. So this power penny deal is $13 for these graphic tees. Did you not see these, DBJ? Looks like we've got a Stitch
I
from
did see
Lilo and
those.
Stitch.
I did
They
see
have
those,
the
but they didn't
Disney-
have the heat.
I did learn they had a whole Disney corner at the one we were at. They have a licensing deal with Disney, which is freaking epic.
I'm seeing some shirts in that photo, JF, that were not available at our JCPenney. But
Okay, so you might have gotten the Venom shirt that just says Venom on it.
if they had that, I might
sounds
have gotten
fucking
that.
cool.
Yeah, but they did not.
You got
they
a
did not
picture
have
of that?
Yeah, it was on there. Look, see, you can kind of see the Venom. It's like back here behind the Lilo
Yeah,
and
it
Stitch.
just has a picture of
sure.
Venom on it.
It's-
Venom is so
for some
cool.
reason, it's next to the Dr. Pepper T-shirt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Guy who likes Venom and Dr. Pepper going, damn, I'm set.
I got
Yeah.
the Dr. Pepper T-shirt goes crazy.
Wearing a T-shirt, a graphic tee of a soda brand is like to me the platonic ideal of the graphic tee from one of these stores.
Yeah,
You know,
Can
like
I
every
say
middle school
when
in
I
America.
when I see a man in like a Dr. Pepper T-shirt, my like guttural instinct is that's somebody's son. I see them as like a son.
yeah.
Like
It's
I see them
sun-coded.
as in their position in part of the nuclear family. Like they're somebody's
sun-coded.
son.
It doesn't happen
Yeah.
all the time.
Even if they're 40, I'm like
But-
that guy's dad is 65.
What I love is when you're watching maybe you're watching like a reality TV show and the guy who is living his normal life except for the fact that he's on a reality TV show shows up in a graphic tee that just
Yes.
maybe it says
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper on it. And you go like, man, at some point today, this guy knew he was going to be on camera. And he grabbed the shirt out of the closet that's like Darth Maul holding a Sprite that says, let the fizz be with you, or whatever the fuck. Like, how dire must the closet situation be that's one of the ones you pull out? And they don't
That's
even
your
blur it
best
out.
shirt.
That's
your
the
best shirt.
That's the best one you had.
It's okay to have that shirt, but then that's like because you're on TV. It's like so this morning I picked out a shirt. I was like, I think this shirt looks nice on me. He thought that looked nice on him. He
Yeah.
was excited to show that shirt off.
That's the
on
JC
some
Penney
level.
mind.
Yeah, that is the JCPenney mind. I think that's right.
There's the population of the JCPenney. Can we talk about like the average JCPenney attendant?
I
'Cause
think
for
mine will be
me,
different than yours, but let's hear
At
it.
my time, it was crazy because in the mall proper, it was so many people. It was a bunch of people like it was young people, older people. It was the entire array of who I
Humanity.
imagine. It's who I imagine lives in Glendale is like the entire array of the population inside of the JCPenney were exclusively confused 55-year-old men.
Yeah.
who had no plan.
Yeah.
They were sort of wandering around slowly in a clothing section they could not possibly be
like looking like they could not possibly be in the right section. They're looking slowly.
There was a guy There was a guy in mine that was talking, that was projecting his voice so loudly that I would have absolutely sworn he was talking to me, but was instead on one of the large Bluetooth earpieces.
Yeah.
Having a conversation.
It's sick. Dude, it's so sick when you see a guy do that. Because, I mean, we all remember the time in the 2000s where you would see just like the most fucked up guy in the world with the tucked in shirt and the Bluetooth thing. So when you see it now, it's like, it does feel like a rarity. It feels
You've
like
been at it
you
for
just
a long time.
Yeah. You're like, well, it works for me. 20 years later, I'm still using one of these things. Can't figure out AirPods.
There was a guy, I was getting breakfast this morning, and there was a guy in line next to me watching. He had his phone out, and he was just watching. This is slightly related, but he was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm clips at full volume. At full volume, right next to me. He wasn't and he wasn't laughing either.
A show about social interaction. That's so funny.
I didn't even put that together. I didn't even put that together. But he was like, it was like some compilation of like when Larry David was wearing the MAGA hat so that people wouldn't bother him. And it was just like so weird. It was like so
He's
loud.
never seen Curb before. He thinks that's Larry's politics. He's just like,
It's the only part he likes.
Where would Larry David even get a MAGA hat? Where would that guy? Where would Larry David?
Lids, which brings
He would
us
go
to
to
next week's episode.
Lids, yeah.
Just kidding.
We're gonna talk for 90 minutes about a 5-foot square space.
I can't wait for those episodes. I can't wait to.
We're not doing fucking lids.
I can't wait for like we have to figure out how to pad an hour off a single room. You know, that's gonna be great, man.
We're not doing lids. I was surprised.
What's that, JF?
Well, sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know DBJ had a
No, are you
segue
looking
here.
at the? Are you looking at the jeans display?
This
Because
is
I
what-
was blown away by the jeans display. They had like 3 different ones at our JCPenney, and they were enormous.
This was this was not enormous. This is the one part of JCPenney that looked like it had been touched in the last 15 years. And it's the Levi's mini sub store of the department store.
Yes.
It's got these like oak waterfall style tables with if you remember when this was very popular, the sort of spray painted plumbing pipe, raw pipe. Sorry for saying raw pipe on the pause. On
That's
the
all right.
show.
Pause.
And
Don't say pause on the show.
Don't say pause. That makes it way worse.
Yeah.
And the like sort of the oak shelving and stuff like that. And it looks like this had been set up somewhat recently. It was still not enough to get me to go in there and buy the jeans, of course. But I was like, wow, someone from Levi's, I guess, walked in here and like spruced up the displays.
You know, it's interesting because you said that, and I think about my experiences going to a place like JCPenney or any department store, and it's almost always for pants. Because I do believe pants are the hardest thing to order online because you never know how they're going to fit. So, I mean, I wonder what percentage of their business is pants, specifically jeans at this point.
I hate shopping for pants also.
Yeah.
It's like one of the worst experiences in my life.
You have to look at your dumb body in the fitting room.
Yeah. Listen.
Look like shit.
Every time I go to buy pants, I think, well, I must be a normal size of human body. Okay? I must be. So you just pick pants. I don't know what my measurements are. So I just pick pants from the middle of the pile. I go in. It's like I'm putting on. It's like I'm putting in.
You don't know what size pants you wear?
You pick the pants from the middle, and you go, and it's basically like you're putting on a child's pants. And then you, because they're so small, and then you go and you are like, okay, 2 sizes up, and you do that 3
You're
or 4
2 sizes
times
up from a child.
I got to be honest, man.
and you go
You're
back.
talking
Stop
like
talking. Shut up. And you go back. And you go back 4 or 5 times. You're going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And you're like, please don't make me go to the big and tall section. Please, for the pants. And then you get your pants that fit, and you look like a bell. You look like an upside down bell.
You're like a 38, 32 probably.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Guess what? You're looking at a 40, 32.
Really?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. You just had breakfast
looking
or
at
whatever. Sure. All right.
I'm a 34-30, but I work out.
Shut the fuck
Whatever.
up.
You're a 34, bro.
Luke is
Yeah.
5'4". Luke is 5'4" in real life.
Let's see the elastic in the waistband, my guy. You're talking about 34.
Bro, I've got 30. Well, actually, these might be at 36. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I hover.
Yeah, your ass.
I hover. The down doesn't change though. 30.
I don't
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
taking off my. You have to take off your pants
that weird?
in a public store to test pants.
You ever notice how you get this way it goes up and down, but this way up or wait.
Audio medium,
Hold on,
audio
hold on,
medium.
Hold on. You ever notice side to side? You're going back and forth. You're yo-yoing, as they say.
Yo-yo's up and down. Up
That's
and down.
pretty-
Yo-yo
that's-
goes up and down.
Well, that's yeah.
Up and down static, man. You're not really 30. I may be 36, 30. I might
like
be
the opposite of
32,
a yo-yo.
30. But I'm 32 in real life. Please.
Please.
That's my catchphrase.
Holding the microphone out for the.
Please.
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 Hold it.
Let me be
Holding it out.
clear. You know?
You should start doing shucky ducky quack quack. I think that
Let me
you
be
should.
clear. I don't know. Sucky ducky quack quack. Hamburger. Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
I don't like taking my pants off in the store. I just like that's like too vulnerable for me.
What are you afraid is
I
going to
don't-
happen?
I guess. Well, I don't want to say it on the podcast, but I guess someone is gonna like attack me.
Yeah, somebody probably would
Listen,
attack
I don't
you.
think that. Okay, I feel like I'm very weak and easy to attack. Right.
Agreed.
But I guess my real fear is somebody's going to take my pants out of the room. Like he's gonna, or I'm gonna lose my pants, or they'll get sucked out of the bottom of the door.
But then you would
by
have the
some
pants
sort
that
of wind.
you're trying on, at least.
But what if
There's also a very, very scary moment when you have neither pair of pants on. You don't have hands on them.
What are you doing in there?
What?
Yeah, I don't.
You know,
You're
what was
just in
always-
between
like a-
pants. Okay.
Well,
okay,
I-
genius. Sorry. Do you take one leg out of the
Yes,
old pants,
and then I put-
one
yes,
new leg,
yes,
one leg in the
yes.
new pants, and
Yes,
then you go second
yes,
leg out in?
Yes. So there's always legs and pants.
So you are
I've
always
always at
covered.
least got one leg in.
Did
No,
you ever get to do
I
the
go
thing
down
where
to
you
my fucking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you bought new shoes as a kid? You bought new shoes as a kid, and then the guy was like, "You want to wear those out?" And you go, "Ooh, fuck yeah, I want to wear these."
It
new
makes you
ones out."
feel. It makes you feel like a
Can
big
you, are
man.
you not supposed to do that as an adult? Because I've definitely done that in like
You
the
can do
last
that as
couple
an
of
adult.
years. Worn those fuckers out.
I think typically, I guess I feel like most of the time, the clerk isn't asking me like, "You want to wear those out?" When I'm
Right, I guess
as,
I
as
just
a
do
grown
it.
man.
Yeah, the adult will just sort of make the decision. Right? It's not presented to me as
You
a
want to wear
treat.
these out, big dog? Yes, sir. And then we fist bump. Yes, sir. And that's why I go to lids. Huh?
Did your JCPenney's have this set up?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that an appliance?
It's an appliance. Did you not see the appliance section?
I thought that the appliance section was, even though it did seem to have like the new stuff in it. So first of all, they seem like they have their own brand. I think is that called Bella? Is that their brand?
They have JCPenney. I learned in my research, they have at one point they had a bespoke brand for like everything. There was like JCPenney
Right.
tires, JCPenney microwaves. Like they were a full like GE style company.
Yeah.
Yes.
It must have been just rebranded stuff from other
I'm sure it was
manufacturers.
white
There's
label
no
stuff.
way they had their own shit.
Well,
yeah.
it said JCPenney was etched into the tires. So you tell me.
They can do that for white label.
Go ahead,
Did
JF.
you guys do any white label research? I guess not for this. That'll be for later episodes.
We've got a segment.
Well, I was gonna say,
It's so pathetic. I mean, that was the most pathetic thing
and
I've
we
ever
went
heard.
to the store.
I was gonna say, I thought that even though they had their own brand, they also had Ninja appliances there, which I do
Yes.
fuck with.
And there was a lot of them. That felt
There
like the
was a lot,
bespoke
yeah.
appliance brand. There was a lot of Ninja.
But
I'm surprised they didn't have their own corner like Levi's did.
They kind of did it. Yeah,
a
they
little
kinda
bit,
did.
they kind of dominated the appliance area
Yes.
for me, I thought.
They were front
Yeah.
and center at ours as well.
But it was giving Bed Bath & Beyond going out of business.
No, this is the same
Yes.
feeling that I had. Is like this is like a shitty Bed Bath and Beyond, and I don't really fuck with Bed Bath and Beyond.
No.
but it was like I was shocked to see that our JCPenney sold beds. I don't
It
know.
did have
That
the-
seems strange to
That's
me.
a weird department store like thick because like Macy's has. That's like a.
Yeah, but it's like
It's a remnant of an earlier age.
But that earlier
Weapon
age is
for a
like
more
50
civilized
years
age.
ago.
I knew
Jedi.
you were going to
Shut-
fucking say
don't
it.
fucking bring. So I can't talk about it, but you can talk about it.
I'm talking about the first movies.
Okay.
Well, I sent you guys this. This was in the bedding section.
Yeah,
The
it's
Claritin pillow.
The Claritin pillow.
I love the Claritin pillow.
the Claritin branded pillow is so good. it's like Claritin made it.
It's also a power penny deal.
It is also a power penny. Power penny deal. It's not a bad price for a pillow.
$19 is probably you know that pillow gonna feel crazy. You know, you don't want to spend $19 on a pillow.
It's gonna last about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What are you guys spending on your pillows? The last time I said this on YKS, I was absolutely beaten over the head with what my coworker and I guess technically my employee are spending on their pillows. I was blown away by this.
Those are two men, Mike and Dan, who I can tell you there's not a single inch of white on any of their pillows. Those are yellow all the way through. Every single one.
I would be shocked. Honestly, I would be shocked if either of them said any more money than I got it from a friend who was moving.
Yeah.
Like that's the
both
maximum amount of money.
I think Mike said he spent over 100, and then I think Dan said he spent 200.
That's the opposite direction of what I thought.
Okay, because I was going to say, I bought a pillow at Bloomingdale's probably 5 years ago, and it was probably like $150 to $200.
What is it?
It's the best pillow I've ever had, and I use it every day, and it's the only pillow I like, and I have not had to replace it. So I do. At the time, it was insane. I was having like neck issues and like shoulder stuff, so I was like really looking for a good pillow. It's better than any Tempur-Pedic. It's just a down fucking pillow that keeps its motherfucking shape. One time I was on an airplane with it. I spilled coffee completely all over it, but I was too anxious to ask the flight attendant for help, so I just kind of let the pillow sop it up and decided I was going to deal with it later. So it is brown like doo-doo, but it's still a great pillow.
Unprompted, unforced story. Just...
Yeah,
really didn't need to mention it.
Just say I have a nice pillow. Yeah,
I would. Okay, my pillow, I think was between $60 and $80.
Okay,
that's pretty good.
I feel the same way.
Lot.
It's a.
What are you spending?
What the fuck do you spend?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I did not buy a My Pillow. I did not buy a My Pillow.
I love that guy.
Even though Mike Lindell is a personal hero of mine, you're being
what are
an
you
asshole.
spending, man?
I'm looking it up right now. The pillows that I've gotten most recently. It looks like we buy a number of these pillows on Amazon. Looks like we get 2 of them.
Buying your pillow from Amazon
weird.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's probably extremely common, but I wouldn't do it. I don't do it.
It's like, but I would never order a bed online. I have to go try the fucker.
Okay,
2 for $40, $20
now
a piece.
there is a store.
I ordered a bed online.
What'd you say, JF? I didn't hear you because
Okay.
JFC wouldn't stop talking.
No, I'm talking now.
2 for $40.
2 for $40. That's too cheap. I know those pillows suck ass. That's like when you go to Walmart and they got the $7 pillow and you feel it and you're like, I wouldn't like make my worst enemy sleep on this.
If you buy a $40 pillow every year, it's not as good as buying a good pillow every 3 years.
I've been using the same pillow since I lived in Chicago.
Right.
I love this fucking
And you got to
pillow.
stop talking about it because that's gross. It's gross to be using it that long.
And it's doo-doo also.
It's because it's doo-doo brown.
It is pretty yellow.
You said it's doo-doo brown.
Well, it's yellow
color.
and then the brown, but that's the coffee I got. It was American Airlines coffee.
So it's the color
Good
of
stuff.
pee and
I can't wait
piss.
to do planes on stores.
What?
Did you guys have this? Talk about remnants of a forgotten age. I snapped a quick photo of this because I thought it was kind of interesting. First of all, the sign in the back says Bath and Bliss, and it's over like the towels, and that feels like you didn't have to do that. But the signs in the foreground here are portrait and salon, neither of which exist anymore. And
Oh, really? Ours had a salon.
If this had a salon, I don't know where they were keeping it because this is where like the cash wrap was.
Ours had a salon?
Ours had a straight up salon. I walked in, but then I made way too much eye contact with the lady, and I was like, I can't get her hopes up, and I walked out.
There was, I had two
I don't think you were getting her hopes up, by the way, at the salon.
I had a hat on. She didn't know what I was rocking with. I had a hat on. It could have just been, I could have just had a buzz or something. I had a hat on.
Yeah, did you? Okay, but here's my question, Luke. Did you have a ring on? Because otherwise, you were getting her hopes up.
Damn.
I always wear a ring when I go out of the house.
But not in the house.
Big dragon on it. It's cool. It's like memorabilia.
You're from medieval times.
I got all the Game of Thrones houses on rings.
I buy all my jewelry from medieval times.
You know there's a new show at Medieval Times? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
New show. First time in like 10 years.
Wow.
Glengarry Glen Ross. They're doing that.
I'd like to go.
They're doing it in between the other shows.
Yeah, they're doing.
Okay, I made eye contact with two people at the JC Penney, and I would like to tell both
It's a new
these
record
stories.
for you, isn't it?
Shut the fuck up, okay?
So I got Luke. I want to get you two.
Okay.
How'd
So
you get
one
me?
of
Sorry.
one of the times I made an eye contact with a guy who was walking around. He was like an extremely old, extremely tall man who was holding a single pair of underwear in a clenched fist.
Like that.
Yeah.
And I
need to
and
get
he was,
my
and he was sort of
drawers.
walking back and forth through the men's section like Bigfoot. And I was just sort of looking at him for a second, and then he turned his head like Bigfoot and made eye contact with me and slowed a little. And for a second, it felt like I was then going to look into a mirror and I was that guy. That's how it felt just for 1 second. And
You thought you were getting cursed.
I don't know. I thought maybe I've always been that guy.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know it, and this was all a hallucination.
You had a quantum leap moment with the Bigfoot man and JC Penney.
I don't know if it's a quantum leap moment as much as it's like I can imagine my life being a hallucination of him, that he's like in his mind, he's like, and I'm making money online. All my money comes from because everyone loves me.
Yeah.
I've got 600 gay friends that pay me $5. That's my rent money.
Oh,
And
that's
this-
you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
I
well,
was
that's
like, what?
I'm his hallucination.
You're saying you're his nightmare.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
Like,
Yes.
I worked my whole life to get these underwear, and now I'm a little gay clown online. I worked my fingers to the bone, and now I dance and sing for my supper like some filthy actor.
Okay, and then the other person that I made eye contact with, and this was a really human moment, is on the escalator, because you had to take the escalator to get up to the home goods section. On the escalator going down, there was a lady who worked there who had to get down the escalator faster. I was just sort of riding it, and she was just trying to get by. And I hear this little voice from behind me say, "Sorry, my dear." She says, "Sorry, my dear." And I turn around, and she's kind of startlingly beautiful. And she said, "Sorry, my dear." And I made eye contact with her, and I accidentally said, "Oh, my." Instead of saying anything else,
Ah.
I swear to you, this is true. I was
Oh,
really
my.
just sort of, the whole experience was
What?
very strange. I didn't expect to hear "Sorry, my dear," and then this beautiful older woman, and I was like, "Oh my." And then I scooted to the side, and she smiled and went, "Well, what
Luke,
along?"
You can't let this guy go out to these stores on his own.
know.
What do
his
you
little
mean?
Niles
Chaperone.
Crane ass.
How is
Oh,
that bad?
my.
How is
Oh, my.
how is that?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it was a
my.
positive interaction.
For her?
1890s Victorian fop just going around.
I don't know. She didn't seem to mind
Oh,
it.
my.
I never had no
Ooh.
complaints when I turn around and say, "Oh my." I'll tell you that much.
It was instinctual. It just came out. I didn't know what to,
Yeah.
It's not like I had a plan to say, "Oh my, this isn't like my fucking game."
A lady
Yeah.
started following me in the store because she thought I was stealing, because I was like, I knew that I looked like I was stealing, because
Well,
I
you
was
had
really I was eyeing everything, and I was like walking too slowly, and she really started tailing me. And then but then I looked back and smiled, and I didn't say, "Oh my," I acted normal, and she stopped, because what a thief would never do is make eye contact. It's a little history lesson for you.
History.
I cut that shit out. Story sucked. Fucking boring as shit. I just wanted to tell a cool, funny story too. Fuck.
I wasn't
Sucks.
followed by anyone because the place where my JCPenney it's a dead mall. And I was,
Yeah.
but I did make the rounds to see like what else exists in the mall still.
Yeah.
And it was a mix of the standalone like independent jewelry stores.
Yeah.
A couple. I think there was one kiosk maybe that did like phone cases, phone repair
Sure.
type of stuff. Weirdly enough, there is a Finish Line and a Foot Locker in there.
Yeah, the sports stores still seem to be going strong. Like we have like a Dick's, a Finish Line, like all of a Champion, like all the bespoke athletic stores.
Very strange.
Keep
and
saying
then-
bespoke. I don't know
yeah,
why.
You made me almost say it earlier, but
I've
I
said
realized
it like
I don't
5
think
times.
it's not right to say. Yeah,
Is that okay? Go ahead.
It makes you seem like you know what you're talking about with stores.
Bespoke.
It seems like a
Bespoke.
store's
when
word.
stuff is bespoke. Yeah. There was a tea place, like a boba tea place, And there was also any number of like, not bespoke, but like local clothing stores.
Yes.
Like where people are doing like, here's like my airbrushed t-shirts, or like these are my screen printed t-shirts, and they're taking up a space like the size of a rack room shoes, and they're just filling it with like their own weird shit.
Huh.
It's very off-putting, but this is what the mall looks like. I took a pic of the
Yeah,
dead
it looks like shit.
the dead
Jesus.
Abercrombie and Fitch, which when you walk up to, if you remember what, I don't know if they still are like this, but in the old days, the Abercrombies and Fitches they would have like the sort of almost tiki
Yes.
like porch that they would put out into the mall area.
Yeah.
And that faux tile roof is now like coming, like the top part of it is like coming off. It, like you can see like the
Jesus.
asbestos underneath or whatever it is. Like it's
man.
it's a very weird and grim setup. Even this is how dead the mall is. So it's Rivergate Mall in Madison, Tennessee, which is shout out to them. A lot of good food
And
over
exactly
there.
how far is that from your house in miles?
The mall is so dead that even the church and the martial arts studio have vacated the premises. That's
Damn.
Holy.
Which is like, those are the two things that are like, I have a mall by me where it's like, there's a bunch of churches because it's like cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
not good. That's really
bad.
bad.
That's really bad.
That mall
Can
is
I-
on its last legs.
Can I tell you what a bad sign is? There's a mall in my hometown, or close to my hometown, that no longer has an Auntie Anne's, and instead has a weird off-brand one-of pretzel store
That sucks.
that moved into
Not
the
even
old,
a Wetzel's?
No, they moved into the old Auntie Anne's space because it had all the pretzel-making stuff.
It's
but
called
they're
like
not a
Jimmy's
franchise.
Pretzels.
It's seriously called like Big Dog's Pretzels.
That's really good.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we'll just use our own like dough and stuff, but it's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
I've never eaten a Big Dog's Pretzels.
It's probably fine.
It's probably exactly the same.
I would say it's probably the same as Auntie Anne's, if not better. But yeah, that
Annie's
is.
really good, so I disagree with that.
And this mall is also 90%. Other than that, it's 90% sports memorabilia stores for some fucking reason. Just like old signed jerseys and pictures, and I don't know why there's so many of them. But
Well, let me ask you this. Should we do our final thoughts on JC Penney?
I want the
we
segment.
we haven't gotten to one more thing.
Okay.
Purchases.
Purchases.
Now,
I didn't purchase anything.
there is no. Okay, well, I was going to queue it up, so thanks for saying so.
Let's cut that out.
Yeah, I'm queuing
Queue
it up,
it up.
and then I figured it's fun to queue it up, and then we reveal, did we buy anything and what did we buy?
Okay.
Because it's not necessary to buy something at the store for stores,
Right.
but it's very possible.
It's a holy experience.
So, JF, I would like to ask you, did you make a purchase? Did you end up making a purchase at JCPenney during your trip?
So let me tell you, to answer that, let me tell you a little bit about my day. In addition to going to Rivergate, and don't sigh when your guest starts to talk.
Yeah, come on. I'm excited for this. He's teeing up gold.
If it was any
Why
other
are you
guest,
sighing?
because I thought it would bother him. I thought it would annoy him.
When I went out, I wanted to get some lunch, and there's a cookout over there, and I wanted to get a cookout burger and shake.
Cookout.
What I didn't know was there was a new, to me anyway, Filipino grocery store and restaurant right next to the cookout. So we had a quick detour over to the Filipino place where I got a dish I've never had before. It was like beef and peanut sauce. I got the halo halo. Do you know what that is?
Yeah,
the crazy
yeah.
dessert with all the stuff in it.
I'm not familiar.
It's really good.
So-
It's like almost
so
like a
good.
parfait.
Yeah, it is. And it's got ube, it's like ice and ube and like gummies and fruit and like a little chocolate straw, like just crazy good. I had all that stuff. I also went to what I think sometimes is referred to as an antique store, but is not really an antique store. It's like where they have a huge space that is rented out individually to booths by like people who would otherwise be at a craft fair or yard
Like
sale.
a flea
or-
market almost.
like a flea market, yeah,
But
but it's almost
permanent.
like more. It's permanent, and you take. There's like a central paying area where they like leave their booths open passively, and you just walk through and like whatever.
Yes. I've
went-
been to one of those.
Now this was before my mom's birthday and also before Mother's Day, and I was like, I'm gonna go to this weird boutique store, and then I'm gonna head over to JCPenney. Probably between those two places, I will find something that I can get for my mom for one of those, or for my wife even, or for anyone. I didn't find a woman gift. I didn't find a single thing that would be useful for anyone I have ever known or seen in either place. This was the type of store that was at the boutique. I'll say this.
Oh my God.
What is those shoes?
That's Blue Line Coffee, right?
Oh.
Blue
Good.
Line Roasting Company, and the I in line is,
Yeah.
well, it's a bullet.
Yes.
I love coffee that is for men.
Yeah.
Finally.
So this one, I didn't get anything
I'm
there.
sick of gay coffee. All this.
Sucks.
And I didn't get my mom the messy cologne, even though it was 25% off.
Okay. Why not?
What's
they say
messy?
They say it's a really big deal. Messy, the fragrance. And here he is down here at the very bottom of the thing. Really grim.
good.
Ghost
Yeah.
Town. Cosmetics, Ghost Town at
Ghost
JCPenney.
Town. Yes, Ghost Town.
It would be funny to be able to say I smell messy. That'd be
It
funny.
obviously sells itself, and yet JCPenney was failing. I looked very hard at the infant outfits for my son. I'm a sucker for getting something at a place like that, and since he's a baby and since he will outgrow things so quickly, I'm like, yeah, he can have a fun little T-shirt he wears like 4 or 5 times, and that's it. Maybe there's Oscar the Grouch on it. That's cute. Maybe it's a dinosaur that says, "I'm my daddy's dinosaur." It doesn't.
That sounds awesome.
I'll buy whatever. I don't care what. For the longest time, my friend Greg's kids are older now, but when he had his youngest son, I remember him being really infatuated with, and then it spreading to the rest of our friend group how cool this shirt is. His son would wear a shirt. I think it had a truck on it, and the text on it was "I'm Mr. Dude," which ideal shirt. If I ever found that shirt again, I'd buy it for my son.
They need to make that in adult sizes.
I'm Mr. Dude. That's a
Put
great.
that in L, XL,
XLT.
Jesus. XLT.
But there was nothing. There was nothing at JCPenney I could even bring home. Like sort of in the sheepish way when I go to Walmart to do a grocery pickup, I'll walk in and I'll grab like a little rocket ship onesie, and my wife would be like, "Oh, why'd you get that?" I'm like, "Well, I just look cute. I just want to get." Not even at JCPenney could I come away with that kind of like.
Not
the
even
dregs.
one thing. You couldn't even
Not
do
even
one
a single.
thing.
No, and I looked. I fucking looked. They wouldn't. I wanted to give them my money. They wouldn't take it. Is how I look at it.
I didn't buy fucking shit. That store sucks. It feels like if you took a Macy's and then you took the worst CVS you've ever been in and combined the two.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy my time at all. Probably my favorite part, and if I'll probably put this in the video, I did take a picture that I believe I sent you guys of little children's suits, which
That
I
was a
thought
good
was
picture.
very
That was
cute.
that was
little
huge
full
for me.
three-piece suits with a little tie. Put a little kid in that. Bring him to a wedding. I mean, there's nothing cuter than when like a kid who's like 3 or 4 is wearing like adults' clothes. Like when they swag out the kid, he's wearing
Love
the
it.
damn newspaper boy hat. He's got the Jordans on. I love that shit, or a suit, whatever it is. But yeah, there was not really much at JCPenney, and I'm still a sucker. I'm 32 years old, but a kid at heart, and I'm a sucker for a toy section. Not much. Not many toys. Even the Disney section, I was like, maybe it'll be something there. Not much. I mean, really just, the store was full of items, but none of them were good. And that was almost weirder.
It was unbelievable, the lack of quality on nothing was appealing. I went in, and I'll just talk about what I got. I went in planning on getting a shirt. I need some new shirts because so many of my shirts have been destroyed by the ravages of time. I only have a couple of pairs of pants that I like.
You pour
Maybe
a
if
bunch
I could
of beans all over them too. I think is one reason they got messed up.
Yeah, and I keep putting myself into contraptions that sort of rend my flesh. So that keeps happening to my shirts.
I don't want to talk about like Twitch shit on this.
This is my whole life. What am I supposed
You
to
can't talk
ignore
about
it?
the stream on the fucking thing. You don't talk
It's
about
my whole
Fortnite
life.
ever.
Trying to
I have
separate
nothing
it.
else to talk about.
You know the Fortnite store is going to be an episode for you.
That would be huge. That would be huge for you, Luke. He's okay. He's gone nonverbal.
Are you okay?
He just started spacing out in a way that is really bad for an audio
I
medium.
think I'm getting a nosebleed. I did think about online marketplaces for Stores More, our companion episodes, up now on
Yes.
Patreon.
Up now on Patreon, Stores More. I
Pretty
think,
good name, right, Jeff?
Yeah,
That's a great
I came
name,
up
yeah.
with it.
Thanks.
I came up with it.
So I went in. I wanted to buy like a shirt or two, or just something I could wear, maybe a pair of pants. I didn't have the patience for the pants situation, as I've discussed. I just didn't have the time to be able to do that. And I didn't buy any shirts because all the shirts fucking sucked. They were all hideous or bad or just not. I didn't like any of the shirts. And I went upstairs and I ended up buying 2 bath mats.
Oh.
I don't know why that's funny, but it really is.
Because I needed
It's an
2
old guy
bath mats.
purchase for sure.
They came in a pair.
I bet in your house you only have one shower. What are you going to put one in front of the toilet like some sort of freak? I hate when people put a bath mat in front of the toilet. What are you doing pissing on that?
It's in a different place. It's not there. It's in a.
What is it? Are they like shag? Or are they?
They're like a memory foam. I think that
those get so gross. You're gonna pick that up in a year, and there's gonna be black mold on the bottom.
Okay, man, dude. I didn't bring this up to get the 5th fucking degree. They were on clearance. I got
that
2
is
bath
some
mats for
hospice
50.
ass shit for sure.
Yes,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I bought 2 bath mats that I
your
enjoy
feet are
because
on
I'm
a
sick
bath
of.
mat like that as they give you your lethal injection.
That's not. They don't do that in.
It's not
they don't
called
do that in
lethal injection.
hospice.
What is,
They don't do that in hospice.
What is
They don't
it?
lethally
I
inject
know.
you
What is it then?
in hospice.
Well,
Jimmy-
we can make him comfortable.
Jimmy
with a
Carter
lethal
was
injection.
lethally injected today.
But his feet were so comfortable on this very soft bath mat.
He stood up on the bath mat and he was like, "Now, do it now, do it now. I want to go out on this."
Yeah,
I
they get you as you're trying to run, but the bath mat slows you down because it's so comfortable. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here."
Oh, hold on a second.
Plunger goes down.
Plunger goes down.
Plunger
Do you think
goes
that's
down.
what people sound like when they get
X's
lethally
go from
injected?
his
They
eye.
go, "Oh."
Wow.
Oh shit!
This is especially true when I think of the stuff that's on clearance at JCPenney. How much did you spend? $10?
Whoa! What the fuck? Wait! What is that?
Do you also imagine it as a glowing green liquid?
Yes.
Obviously.
It's not just like it's got to be a color, so you know it's poison. Like they got to at
Green
least
or
color
purple.
it.
It has to be green
It's gotta
or
be like
purple.
those beta fish they put the glow stuff
Oh,
in.
fuck. Okay. Jeff, why aren't you laughing?
I am laughing. I want to keep the show on track. It's very important to keep the show going.
I bought the bath mats.
This-
They were like $25
Each
That's
or
insane.
total?
as a pair. Yeah.
Yeah, those are gonna mold real
my
quick.
feeling
Shut the fuck up.
my feeling in that place was not even, it wasn't this is good and it wasn't this is bad, there's nothing for me to buy. It was, I pity the person whose job it is to be in charge of all of the stuff that's in this place. It
Yeah,
gave me
annoying.
a sense of dread, like when a family member dies when they're lethally injected on their bath mat and you have to go into their house and decide like, well, this is trash, or I could get $10 for this,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I'm going to keep this. What in there would you keep? Nothing. It's
Nothing.
all garbage. And
A
and all,
glowing green jar of poison. What do I do with this? Can't give this to Goodwill. Is this garbage? You know your ass is taking that to the dump, and the guy at the dump says, "Oh, you can't put that here."
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to do with this.
and then
Yeah.
you pour
gotta
it on
go
top
to the
and
recycling
and then the
center?
Trash
What the
turns into a
fuck?
monster.
You got to go to Batteries Plus where you ask a teenager to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't put it in the garbage. The garbage will come alive.
Wow, and more and more of it starts glowing, and then it fuses.
So we need to review JCPenney, and there's 2 ratings that we would like you to give as the guest, and we'll give it as well. And one is it bitch or itch?
What?
Do you think the
bitch or
store
ish, yeah.
is a bitch, or do you itch to go to the store?
I don't want to say bitch is like a bespoke part of the podcast.
Stop saying bespoke.
I hate the word bitch. I
Stop
hate
saying
saying it.
You say it more than any other word.
Hold on, let me get this. All right, here's the 2 categories. Would you go there again? And then secondly, and perhaps more importantly, do you think it will exist within the calendar year?
Yeah, and so do you think it will exist in the calendar year? Do you wish it will exist, or is it swish, as in the sound of wind, where it through the empty lot? So bitch, itch, and then wish, swish.
Oh,
So-
man, I wish I'd done this with someone else. Man. Shit.
Okay, so between bitch and itch, for
Are you
JC
itching to
Penney,
go?
I am not itching to darken the door of a JCPenney ever again for as long as I live.
Your fat
I
ass
think I'll be
darken the
just
whole store. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I'll be just fine keeping my fat ass out of JCPenney for the remain. I don't think I'll miss
I think
it.
that we agree, right?
Yeah.
I'm just reading like what
Yeah,
you
I hated
said.
it.
I think that it shouldn't exist. Yeah.
I'll fuck with a Macy's or a Bloomingdale. More on that in a future episode. Funny. But no, I thought JCPenney sucked. I was like kind of blown away by how bad it was, to be real with you.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like it should still be there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a bitch, and then I think we all agree that it's not going to be there.
So it's a swish.
It's a swish, which is the sound of wind through the empty lot.
Here's the only problem I have with that. To the extent that these places close in recent years, it has been not in spite of, but because another entity deems that they are worth something, and therefore they do a hostile takeover and snatch them up with private equity and then force them into liquidation and then own the real estate or whatever else
and
the
then
scam
they
is
just
supposed to
change
be.
them into an online brand or whatever. And
Then they disappear. They hollow it out completely. So, like, I actually think JCPenney is so worthless. Why would anyone even bother attempting to close it? Like, it is almost. I mean, it's a microcosm
That's a good point.
of the mall that it's in right now for me,
Yes.
Rivergate Mall, which is like, why is that still open? It is 95% empty. Someone is still
It's
going
inertia.
there in the morning and turning the lights on for whatever insane. It can't possibly. There's no way it pays its bills. So it's like it's some other like multiple removal.
Interesting.
Like is it taxes? Is it like we're holding this because we make more money elsewhere and taking a loss on this business allows us to do something else? Like JCPenney is
There's
kept
no way
alive.
it makes money.
Yeah, no, it's being kept alive for some other weird reason. So it pushes on necrotically, and we won't have any info.
I totally know what you mean. It's like, there's no reason to buy it. There's no like brand that anyone like gives a shit anymore. They've gotten rid of most of the good brands. Like I think I was reading online a lot is that people come in because they used to have Sephora, which they don't anymore. And it's like, that's such a good indication. So yeah, it feels like it will just slowly die. Perhaps that lethal injection then for this JCPenney is coming from an IV drip instead of that plunger that goes in so fast.
Yes.
Maybe that's right. And maybe shows like this will get people interested in the brand again.
No,
I don't think so.
That's not what we're doing.
That's not
here.
the idea.
Yeah.
No.
We're just trying to talk about.
We're just sort of
I'm not
talking
trying
about
to get
stores.
people interested in going to JCPenney.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And also, so we all hate it. It's a swish, bitch. And we think that it should go. And so fuck you, JCPenney. Sorry.
Could there be a category for this? This is just a pitch, and you can cut this out if you end up using
Swish
it.
pitch.
Bitch.
Could there be a pitch on this for like when you ask people, and maybe not the female guests, could you maybe ask people like, would you fuck in this store? Like, could that be kind of like almost like a meter of
would you lay pipe? Like, how good is the ambience? Is it nice enough to lay
Now,
pipe
are you
in?
talking about like hidden or like if you had you're in the store, there's no one around, like in a safe place, you could fuck freely? Are you talking about is there some place you could hide and have sex?
I'm thinking like when you went in there, would you kind of be like, oh, like we could kind of like sneak off, you know?
I didn't
we
even
could,
want
like,
to look at the bras. I was so not horny.
Yeah.
No, JCPenney definitely not. But I'm saying,
No, and
is
that
there a
would be-
store that would ever activate that for you?
So that would be a third category, pipe or gripe. And it would be
Sucks.
That's pretty good, actually.
I don't
would be,
wanna-
would
wanna
you
say
pipe in the
bitch.
store or are you griping about the ambience?
I'm griping on this one, but Luke, I'm
Yes.
curious.
I'm also griping.
Is there one you would pipe? Is there one you can think of you would say pipe to? Let's prove that the category makes sense and it actually belongs.
You mentioned Abercrombie and Fitch. Those used to be fucking nice on the inside. That is a store you could fuck in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I'd fuck in Uniqlo. I don't think I would fuck in Spencer's because that's too weird.
Yeah.
If Spencer's were bigger though,
Yeah, I mean it's dark. It's kind of nice
dark.
with it.
It's
in there.
dark. Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck in maybe I'd fuck in a Journeys. Maybe I'd fuck in a Banana Republic.
Can I
Yeah.
tell you? I'm thinking like Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight,
I'm like,
Why? Why would you want to fuck? Home Depot is probably the most
I got
place
space. I'm not going to be knocking shit over.
DBJ heard big
Right?
box store. He
There's
said, "Don't mind if I do."
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves plus-sized women.
I don't necessarily think that larger
All
women
women are
have bigger
beautiful.
pussies. I don't think that. I don't think that's a
And
correlation.
I do.
Yeah.
God love them.
All right. So we're griping on it. We do have a segment. Let me go
Yes.
through the run of show.
JF, how excited are you for our segment?
Before we get
Let's
to our
go,
ending
baby.
segment, I just want to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Okay, so
You
intro.
cannot read it out
welcome.
one by one. You can't do that to him.
We did not.
We've already been here for an hour and 45 minutes. You don't need
we
to
didn't.
go.
We didn't thank the Saudi royal family for funding the podcast. That was supposed to be up top.
Right. Okay. Fair
And
enough.
then discuss Neom the Line. We didn't do that.
The movie.
No, Neom the Line.
Oh, right.
The
Is that
the paradise
Saudis?
in
I
the
think
desert.
That's the UAE then. And that's-
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're getting them confused, which is pretty bad if you're
Talk about eating mud for fun as a joke. Like we don't actually like it. We're just joking.
This is the
We didn't
stuff
do
you had
that.
to
What?
write out before we did use. JBJ came over and was like, hold on, I got to write all this stuff out for the podcast. Just a bunch of one-liner jokes about the run of show.
Not really a joke. I mean, talk about eating mud for fun would have been funny.
Right.
I wish I had this kind of structure when I first started my show.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
Oh, okay. Right after JC Penney rating, I have Luke brings up that he used to do comedy. So this would be a good time for you to do that. and go for Luke.
And that one stings because it's like, I don't think that's something I really even bring up a lot. But now I'm completely in my head, and I'm like, is that something people are like? Luke's always bringing that up. And so I'm going to probably just sit with that and go nonverbal.
This is the last segment of the show. It's called Impulse Inventory. Luke, can you do the?
Welcome to Impulse Inventory. Tory.
Okay, so I have investigated and kept a list of some of the things that are available in the JCPenney checkout line. These are intended to be impulse purchases while you're waiting in line. I have written some down, but I've also written some that are real products, but they were not in the line. And I've written down some products which don't exist. I just sort of made them up. So in this quiz, and Luke doesn't know either. It's Luke versus JF.
I don't know either.
Yeah. You're going to have to guess for each thing that I list out. Is it in stock, out of stock, which means it's real, but it wasn't there, or doesn't exist at all? The first thing I'll list out. Lilo and Stitch Adult Eye Sleep Mask. Okay.
3, 2, 1. In stock.
in stock. Yeah.
That's correct. You both get a
I
point.
knew it. A lot of
Had to
Lilo
be.
and Stitch shit. They're
of
really
it.
pushing that movie, and I'm sort of like, do we care about Lilo and Stitch that much? I don't know.
I don't imagine America will, but I guess I've
Yeah.
been wrong before.
Okay. This next one, pack of Uno cards.
I think this one's in stock. I think this is a cash wrap mainstay of all of these dying stores.
I don't think it's in stock. I think maybe it's in a different part of the store, but I don't think it's by the cash register.
All right. That's a point for Luke. This was something I saw in the Target checkout, which was right next door, but it was not in stock at the
You were a
JCPenney.
shopping fool that day.
Yes, sir.
That's true. Okay. This next one,
Do
sour
I get a
cherry
point for saying you were a shopping fool?
No,
or
you don't. Sour cherry cola bottles that I didn't buy.
Sour cherry cola bottles. I don't think those exist. I've never
Those-
seen that.
I
Sour
believe those.
cherry.
I think those do exist. I think they're pretty good. I don't know how they would be stored at the cashier area. I'm going to say out of stock.
Okay, out of stock and doesn't exist? Mm-hmm. Okay. Technically, out of stock was correct, JF, because I did buy them. So,
What?
Got it.
I did buy them.
You bought. They were there and you bought them.
Yeah, they were there and I bought them.
So-
and they were really bad.
Were they in the line?
They were in the line, yeah.
Okay,
So
but that doesn't
he didn't-
that mean
he
they're
got
in
it
stock?
wrong too. That
Well,
means-
what I have written down here is sour cherry cola bottles that I didn't buy. That's what. And that
Okay. Perfect. The most dangerous game.
Great.
was all right. Up next, Peeps jewelry set.
That sucks.
A Peeps jewelry set.
I'm going to say in stock because I think that it's something left over from Easter, and this place is not doing enough turnaround business to get rid of their Easter
This
stuff.
is definitely the type of shit that this sort of place does.
Yeah.
Is
Peeps
another
jewel-
brand themed, like
jewelry,
whatever.
shitty ass jewelry for like
Yeah.
a kid.
I think you're too proud of it. I'm going to say it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's in stock. No,
Wow.
I was
Wow.
simply delighted by it. That's all.
Wow.
I was simply so delighted. One of the best things I've
we
seen.
got to get pictures of this stuff because I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah, you should
Okay.
walk up to the cashier and take a bunch of pictures of the stuff right next to him.
All right.
Oh, wait, you can't take pictures anymore? I mean, what is this country coming to?
All right.
I actually think, I will tell you, as someone who was taking pictures of JCPenney, as you were as well, JF, I would tell you that every single employee could give less of a shit what I was doing there.
Yeah.
No one basically even looked like I basically didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of seem dead.
Yeah.
All of them seem dead.
Except for the beautiful woman.
She had
Older,
so much
too.
life about her. Anyway, the next
Rusty.
one, perfect 1-to-1 scale replica of Robert Wadlow, the world's tallest man. This is in stock, out of stock, or doesn't exist.
You want us to guess if this is in the checkout aisle?
Or if it's not.
I'm
What's
gonna
his
guess
height?
that-
What, 8
Yeah.
foot? What?
It was like 8'4".
yeah.
Yeah, 8'4".
That guy should have been playing b-ball.
Yeah, I think he was actually rather frail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Died
say
young.
I will say it doesn't. Well, you know what? It does exist, but I don't think it's for sale. That maybe qualifies it as out of stock, though.
I think it's not in stock because I think with 3D printing, you can make just about anything these days.
Okay, but you think it's out of stock? Mm-hmm. All right. So it turns out it doesn't exist. I couldn't. Okay, here's the next one.
Okay.
JC Penney branded water, which has the slogan "Good to the last drop."
Oh, fuck. I just didn't see any food items in there. That's
Good
what's
to the last drop is Maxwell House, isn't it?
I'm not gonna say anything.
I think
But
in
that's-
stock because I think JCPenney is a dumb enough brand where they would just like copy another brand's fucking catchphrase and put it in their stupid red font that looks like shit.
It does look like shit. I'm gonna say out of stock. They had the water, but the slogan wasn't "Good to the last drop." It's more like satisfied.
Okay. That's a point for Luke because they literally did exactly what he said. They
Let's
just
go.
stole the slogan
Let's
and put it in their
fucking go.
shitty red font, exactly like he said on the bottle, 100%. That's what they did.
That's crazy.
Just a bunch of unrefrigerated bottled water, like on the shelf next to the Peeps jewelry. I don't know what the fuck.
Get this. Yeah.
Oh, cool. JCPenney's got water now. Awesome.
Well, congratulations to Luke, and I believe that brings us to the end of the show.
This
I
is
think
it.
that's about the end of the inaugural episode of this, and thank you for listening. If we did indeed release this,
Yes, this is. And if you liked what you hear, of course, you can find us over on the Store's Patreon, where we release one bonus episode every week called Stores More, and where we generally kind of do the things that you're not getting in the main feed. Perhaps we go play laser tag or have a talk with a kindly old man, something like that.
having other retail experiences, and sometimes just diving into topics that are suited for me and Luke.
Yes.
That maybe we don't get into with the
Because Jesse
with the
said
guests
we
and
can't
stuff.
do a One Piece podcast, but they did say that we can do it on Stores More.
Yeah, that's true. We can do one
JF,
One
why
Piece
are you
episode.
looking at that? Why are you looking?
Do you
at
want
me
people to sign up for it or no?
Yeah,
Stores More,
okay.
we're gonna be
No,
doing
no, no,
the
no,
crate-
no, let me just say
All
this,
right,
okay?
please.
I promise there will be no One Piece episodes on the Stores More Patreon episodes. There will be 0 episodes about anime or manga
Good
for
idea.
one month.
What if there's like an anniversary though?
If there's a big anniversary, then we have to talk about it.
Right. Okay. JF, thank you so much for being here. You are the platonic ideal of a bespoke podcast. I'm using all my words at the same time. You're the platonic ideal of a bespoke podcast guest. We couldn't have been happier.
An incredible guest.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Nobody else could have dealt with all this horse shit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nobody else could have dealt with realizing the host in real time didn't prepare anything. JF, where can we find you?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, if you're already on Patreon, of course, their built-in discovery system will probably point you right to Your Kickstarter Sucks, the podcast, where we also have gotten to the point in our podcasting journey where we're making ourselves go out into public and have new experiences. So we have something to talk about on our show as well. Yep. It's very little Kickstarter stuff, more like, do you want to go see a mystery movie with me this Monday? We have to do something. We have no ideas.
We have to do something, please. Please give me any new experience to talk about.
Yeah.
Wendy's has not released a new chicken sandwich in over 6 months, Mike. We are simply out of ideas. Let's figure out how to play Parcheesi or something. So, but that's a lot of fun. And thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to do it. I hope it comes out someday, and I hope that people will eventually say, you know, that pilot episode of Stores was, quite honestly, for me, the peak of the whole show, and it was downhill from there. But I
hope that's what we hear.
I still fuck with them. I just thought it was going to be something different than it was, you know. But it's been a true honor.
I liked it when it was loose, you know, when they were less like buttoned up.
I like when Jesse made us all say bitch a bunch. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks again to our guest, JF. And as always, I'm Luke. This is DBJ. And this is Stores.
Bye.
That was pretty good.